15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour.
What's going on? It's your boy Mike Rashid. This is the Lions, Owls, and Elephants podcast. I have a very special guest. I've actually been a fan of this man's podcast, Sleep is for Suckers. I want to introduce my man, David Shands. How you doing, my brother?
Man, bless, man. How are you?
I'm excellent, man. Can't complain.
Yo, it's funny that like to hear you say that. I'm like, because I watched your channel and watched all stuff. You have a huge influence, and I'm like, you never know what you're doing in comparison to you. Like I have like it's a small brand in my mind. But compared to you, it's like you never know who's watching you. Right. I would never think that you would say, I'm a fan of your show. Yeah. So I appreciate it. I'm honored, man.
I think everybody in here watches you. You know what I'm saying? Your podcast, it has, the aesthetic is very unique, right? With the white background and everything. Very simple, like build out, which I'm a fan of. Like my old office in Miami, it was just a huge white room. I had one mural on the wall of an angel. It was a spray paint. It was beautiful. It looked like real. And just my desk and a chair. Yeah. It was just big and empty, and it's a certain type of beauty to that kind of like it's nothing there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, and the topics, even the title is very compelling. You know what I'm saying? Sleep is for suckers. Yeah. It's bold. You know what I mean? Yeah. And people get it. But what's your definition of sleep is for suckers?
Very interesting, man. So I started Sleep is for Suckers started as my T-shirt brand because I was under the impression that if you lose sleep doing what you love, you'll eventually live the dream that you only would have dreamt. So I'm like, I literally, at this point, I'm working at the Cheesecake Factory, and I'm literally working all day on my job and all night on my dream until it's time to go to work in the morning. So I was getting very little sleep. I've never had a lot of skills. I've never been the number one anything in anything. I've never got number one award for anything. Right. So my thought process is, I just work. I will just outwork everybody. That's all I got. You know what I mean? So I started this brand where I'm just giving up a little bit of sleep. And it did work in theory, because instead of sleeping 8 hours a day, I'll sleep 6 hours a day, meaning over a week, I'll have an extra 14 hours of productivity. That's how I saw it. And it worked out that way. Right. But as I grew and mature, I realized that it doesn't matter how many hours you sleep or don't sleep. It's about, like, are you awake when you're awake? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like throughout the day.
What are you doing with those waking hours?
Exactly. Some people sleep.
Right. No,
sleepwalking.
It's real, man. And then it was unfortunate. Some are not even asleep. They're awoke. They're conscious, but they're doing things that are not productive. They're spending a lot of time being unproductive.
You know what's crazy? They have no idea.
Nah.
They have no idea.
Wild. But what do you think about that, though? Because if you look at the population, most people in that situation, what do you think about that?
I think people are ignorant. But I'd rather be ignorant than stubborn. Ignorant just means I don't know. Right. So some people, they're just going to the club, they smoking, drinking, they're doing whatever they do on a regular basis, but no one told them that anything's wrong with that, because it just becomes their lifestyle. But some people are stubborn, meaning they know it and still don't do it. I can work with somebody that's ignorant. I can work with somebody that doesn't know, because once you enlighten them, they say, oh, I see a whole new world now. Right. But all this personal development, all these videos that you're putting out, all these podcasts that I'm putting out, like, this world is full of information. And my fear is that we are becoming stubborn and not ignorant. At some point, we didn't know how to read, but now we know how to read and don't. Right. It's sad.
Yeah, I think it's like the marketing of the beast, right? Like everything, the catchy stuff on social media, right? The lifestyles, you know, people are projecting they're having the greatest time of their lives all the time, right? And I'm just like, all right. But I think it's up to people like us who are aware of these things to like pull people coattails. Like, look, I tell people all the time, like, I like to have fun, you know, but too much fun times create weak men. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, say that again, because I need to process that.
Too much fun times creates weak men, right? When all you do is have fun, you become soft, you know, figuratively and literally, right? I mean, think about partying. You're drinking, you might be taking drugs, whatever, right? You're deteriorating your health. You're depleting your dopamine and serotonin levels, right? To where you need these substances. You need this kind of over-the-top stimulation. You know what I mean? You're not happy without it. You can't function without it. And, you know, you can't function in a productive manner when you're not happy, when you don't feel good or positive, you know? They did studies on different things, man. And it's like there was these people, say like 15 people, 30 people, 15 on one side of the hospital, 15 on the other. One side is beautiful nature, scenery. The other side is just a wall, right? They all have similar ailments, similar ages. And the people with the beautiful visuals recovered like 20 or 30% faster than these people. There was something positive about that, right? About being happy or whatever. Now, that's using something natural you could just go out and look at, just nature, right? But when you're using other types of stimuli, alcohol, drugs, partying, whatever, for your happiness, for your serotonin dumps, it's not sustainable. You know what I'm saying? And it deteriorates your health. You know what I'm saying? So it's a slippery slope when it comes to like having too much fun. Listen, life, we live this life, this is all we got. So yeah, enjoy it. But kind of shift your perspective on what you enjoy. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And I think that we have superpowers. That superpower is called perspective. You know what I'm saying? But people,
100%.
People just they're not really aware of that. You know?
I'm going through right now. I'm doing intermittent fasting, and I only eat between the hours of 12 and 8, which it's not comfortable all the time.
Right.
But I get so excited that I'm able to go through a process of denying myself the thing that I want. And some people just never deny themselves anything that they want. That's
dope, bro.
Yeah.
So I've been intermittent fasting for years. Mine is a little bit more extreme. I just eat once a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's all I need.
How'd you start that?
I just did it. Like I did it before. I used to do it before. You know, in the Nation of Islam, one of our books is How to Eat to Live, and the Honorable Minister Elijah Muhammad would prescribe, you know, eating once a day, this, that, and the third. So that's a tactic that I employed years ago.
Yeah.
My father eat once a day, still to this day.
Wow.
So then, you know, I started eating normal. Then I started eating a lot when I was like lifting a lot. And, you know, in 2015 or 16, I went and got a complete blood panel done. Never done that before. And unbeknownst to me, I was really unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? I was trending towards becoming pre-diabetic, right? And it's because I was eating so much. And I wasn't fat. I was muscular. I was probably 30 pounds bigger than I am now. But it was the rate, the frequency of my eating was spiking my insulin over and over and over. And that's what happens. You become insulin. You become insensitive to that. So sensitive to it. So that's how people get diabetes. Just eating too much all the time. You know, and there's other health
it's like
ramifications.
Every time you think about it, anytime you want to eat, you just eat.
Yeah.
That's dangerous for people.
You're not hungry. It's crazy that we had this whole thing with COVID and all of that, but the biggest pandemic is food. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest killer in our country, literally.
Wow.
Top 2 killers is type 2 diabetes and heart disease. If type 2 diabetes and heart disease is the guns, the bullet is food. You know what I'm saying? That's what's getting us to those places. You know what I mean? And they're reversible. But food, as you know, is an addiction.
Yeah, 100%.
It's hard to get out of that because people eat for. Listen, this is what people gotta understand. You gotta change your perspective in your relationship with food, right? Now, our species of human have been on this planet approximately 200,000 years, right? We've been somewhat civilized for 10,000, right? Mm-hmm. We had the agricultural revolution and all of these things way later, not very long. We've had an abundance of food for a very short period of time. So our programming is still that of when we eat food, we get a dopamine rush. So it rewards us with some happiness so we could do it again. But that was more suitable when there was not much food, a scarcity of food, when people ate a couple times a week. You know what I'm saying? So now
There was a time where people ate a couple times a week.
Yeah, I think we're animals, right?
Yeah.
We're animals. So there's a lot of the human existence was living like animals in terms of hunting and foraging. You know what I'm saying? Like what animals do. So you gotta think most animals, especially like these apex predators, they die of starvation. You don't see that side of lions and tigers. You see the powerful highlight reel, the Instagram version. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the reality of polar bears, all these big, powerful, beautiful beasts, a lot of them die of starvation. So humans did the same. You know what I'm saying? So, and when we hunted, this is why intermittent fasting is so good. You gotta think, when our ancestors hunted, they was hunting on an empty stomach, right? There's so much data that shows that when you're fasted, you have a heightened sense of alertness. Your brain works better. You have better protein synthesis. So when you do eat, your body uses it for more good. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I eat once a day and I eat in the evening. So people are like, you could train like that? Like, yeah, I have more energy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's in our coding. That's how we were designed. You know what I'm saying? So people got to really think about food. My relationship with food is just, it's a source of energy. It's not like my pleasure. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a foodie.
Right.
You know, it is what it is.
It's been
that stuff will kill you.
It's been a journey for me, and I still sometimes I want to eat after the hours or. But what's really, really cool is I'm able to appreciate being able to deny myself something that I want. And I think any good thing, too much of it becomes a bad thing. You know what I mean? But if we have our will and there's no barriers around what we eat, we'll eat ourselves to death, literally.
Yeah.
Or do anything, like whether it's indulging in women or alcohol or whatever. It's all, the first drink is good.
Right.
But you have too many of that good thing and it kills you.
It kills you.
Yeah.
That's right. It's interesting, man, that you say that because, I do a fast once a week, every Wednesday. And, of course I want autophagy and all of the physical benefits of it and psychological benefits
What's
of it.
autophagy?
Autophagy is a process of starvation where your body starts cleaning out dead cells and damaged DNA. You know what I'm saying? So things operate better.
Gotcha.
You have to clean yourself out to get to that point. Right?
You do that every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday.
On top of only eating once a day?
Yeah. Listen, that one meal a day is enough for me.
That's why you're so successful, bro.
You gotta think about it, bro. How often do people eat when they're hungry? Like, really? You eat because this is the time to eat, and we're all going to eat. Yeah. Or people ain't hungry. You don't know. None of us know hungry.
Yeah.
We don't know hunger.
Yeah.
Look, my 24-hour fast, I'm never hungry. You know what I'm saying? I have enough food in me from whatever I ate last. Our body's not breaking all of that down that fast. You know what I'm saying?
I think some people people are probably missing what you're saying in terms of like they still maybe their mind is on food, but when you're talking, I'm like, yo, no wonder he owns this building, got those employees. Like, no wonder you're successful. Your level of discipline is like top tier.
But you're doing it too. Like what you said a lot to me. You know, I like the fact that I can deny myself of that pleasure. You know what I'm saying? People can't deny themselves a pleasure.
That's a fact.
That's why people are overweight. Look, when I see someone that's overweight, I don't be like, oh, that's stupid fat. Like, nah, it's logical to be overweight.
100%.
Because we have certain receptors and things in our body that's rewarding us to keep eating. You know what I'm saying? And then they're marketing food to you every day. You know what I'm saying? You drive by a burger spot, that shit look good. I want to get that. You know what I'm saying? They know what they're doing. So they're playing into psychology. And we all know in marketing, like, tugging at people's emotions is a good way to get them to do things. You know what I'm saying? So in food, we all most people have a connection to food. Yeah. It's a feel good. it's like a blanket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's like if somebody listens to you for too long and they don't make a change, that's when it becomes dangerous because now you're stubborn. Well, you can't even. You're like really what you're doing is taking the excuse away from people because they can't say that they're ignorant anymore.
Right.
You can't say that I don't know. But now with that information, we got to choose to do something with it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So that's one thing I always try to get people to be aware of. Like, yo, you're about to get some information right now. And if you don't want it, you might as well cut this interview off. If you don't want to like go to this category of stubborn, which is 10 times worse than ignorance, because right now you have no idea what we're going to talk about. You have no idea the information, education. If you don't want the responsibility of information, you might as well just turn this off or stop watching Mike Rashid. Because if you say, yo, I'm a fan and you're still doing things outside of integrity, because I know you're a man of integrity, outside of honor, because I know you're a man of honor, and in principle, right? Now you just fall into the, I know I just don't want to do it.
Right. Listen, I don't, if I'm trying to give somebody some information, people know me. They know my personality by now. If they don't take it, I don't care. Yeah. It's fine. Listen, there's a saying like, I want to die fat and happy. Cool. I'm not going to talk you off of that ledge. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to like waste energy on someone that doesn't want it, right? So people can listen to me. Sometimes people listen to information as a form of entertainment, right? That's fine. Maybe today is not the day for them to, maybe today is just a day for the seed to be planted. And maybe to take a while, then they got to hear your interviews or your podcast and then somebody else's podcast. And then one day, maybe they run into a wall and like, man, I need to hear that. It's been cats that tell me like on my mental jewel stuff, like they'll be like, I used to skip those videos. They didn't want to hear that. But today I was going through some shit and I heard this one and that shit hit me. I'm like, that's what I do it for. Because look, we got the benefit of being immortal now. These videos are there forever, out into the ether. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not worried about like the to me, my best content don't get the most views. It's fine. Just like sales. Look, if I do a pitch, that video is not going to get the most views. But the people that really want to buy, that want to tap in, they there.
That's the best video.
It's the best video.
Going to change their life.
Exactly. So, you know, it ain't a numbers thing. It's not a quantity thing. It's a quality thing. You know what I mean? And I'm good with that.
I think we both have a responsibility too, because we have a following of people, and when we say something, they listen. You know what I mean? We have a responsibility to tell people. But I went to a school one time, and it was a bunch of 5th or 6th graders, and I was trying to explain to them like the stats show in this room, probably 95% of you will end up broke. I'm in a classroom, right? I'm like, yo, here's the reality. Most of you will be broke, unhappy, and poor. And the teacher's looking at me like, yo, I hope he's going somewhere with this. Right. We brought him in as a motivational speaker, right? But I had to like just lay a foundation. Yeah. But I let him know, but it's going to be probably out of 20 kids, one of you all that are going to be wildly successful. I mean, like like changing the world. And I was just explaining to them that because I don't know which one of the 20 is going to change the world, I have to talk to all of you. So we have a responsibility to share information. If you have some information that's gonna like that could prevent somebody from real damage in their lives, we have a responsibility to share it, right? But I'm very careful of like books that I read and information that I get, because I start to hold responsibility for it. Because I now I can't say that I didn't know. And I think a lot of people, we just use that example. I don't use that excuse. I just didn't know. Right. You know what I mean? So
they say ignorance is no excuse for the law.
Absolutely.
And listen, even the universal laws, man, ignorance is not an excuse, because here's the thing, man. Follow me for a minute. Like, we are one, right? It's a singularity. We are everything, right? All of things that are need to be known, we know. You know what I mean? Let's go back to like
as a people,
human beings.
Yes.
10 Commandments, right? Thou shalt not kill. thou shalt not fuck your neighbor's wife. Thou shalt not whatever. Do you really think that people need to be told that? I don't. I think there was a group of savage people maybe or whatever. They had to have some laws and to dish out punishment, but people don't need to. If you tell a kid, your kid, yo, don't get them cookies, and they want them cookies, they're not gonna do it in front of you. They're gonna sneak and do it. They know they're doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? So people know. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Maybe they can't articulate the idea or the thought well, but they know. We know everything. We are everything. So, the law of thermodynamics states that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, right? So what does that mean? The earth, the amount of tonnage that it weighs, it always weighs that. It's never less or more. Mm-hmm. Everything that's here has always been here. You know what I'm saying? Even information, wisdom, knowledge. Like our thoughts are physical things. It's a real tangible thing that can be measured with MRIs and shit like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You take us back 50, 100 years, a thought is just a magical thing. But we have tools to measure it now, right? So we got to look at it like there's some, like light. We see 1% of the color spectrum with our eyes, but we have tools to see infrared. It's the gamma rays and all these different lights, right? So there's things that exist that you can't necessarily just see right offhand. Thought's one of them, and this is something that's close to us because we generate it from in here. Mm-hmm. Where the fuck does it come from? It's here. Energy. So I'll just go back one generation to our parents. They have sex and have us, but how are they alive? Energy. Energy from the animals and the plants that they eat. Energy from the oxygen that comes out of the plants that they breathe in. You know what I'm saying? The water they drink. And that energy doesn't go away. It powers them and changes form. Turn into shit, piss, sweat, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's in the earth somewhere. It's here. It gets reused somehow, some way. We grow up, we die consuming all of this fucking energy from the earth. And then we die, we go back into the earth to be consumed by the earth. Mm-hmm. The cycle never stops. So does that information and that wisdom. You know what I mean? How many times, I'm sure that you've probably had some notions or ideas anecdotally that you're like, man, I think it's like this. And then later on you find out that science says it is like that, what you thought of. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah, you wasn't taught it, but you know these things. Yeah. It's about being able to really, understand and communicate and articulate like what's in your mind, what's in your heart, what you're trying to express, but also be a receptor for information that we see visually and touch and taste and experience. You know what I'm saying? I
want to go back to something you said. I don't know that people know right from wrong inherently. Okay. You know what I mean? Like my daughter, like she's never seen this. Like I never hit her mom never hit me. There's no, like we don't yell at each other or nothing, but she's a baby and she'll like smack me in my mouth. I'm like, yo, why would you do that? She thinks it's all good. She just doesn't know. Yeah. And I can't assume that people know right from wrong because they've been taught whatever they've been taught, especially their history. I saw this video where this white guy threw something through this guy's window, right? He's driving down the street in their neighborhood. He throws through the window and his neighbors come out and they're like, yo, get out of our neighborhood or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a black guy. I guess he's like recording.
Oh, I just seen that. It was like last week, right?
I don't know that they know that that's wrong. I don't know that they know that what I'm doing isn't right. Like even, I don't know, slave drivers, right? I can't say that they knew that was wrong because from a baby, they've been raised a certain way to teach right and wrong. Now, some people, you have that inherent like, yo, why are we beating these people? Just because they're a separate, but they had to be taught it, right? So I don't think we can assume that people know right from wrong. And then right and wrong is subjective, right? So I don't know.
I hear you. Okay, for the baby, that I can give that a pass, right? Mm-hmm. Because she's going to learn a consequence at some point, you know what I'm saying? Or she's going to develop some empathy at some point. And like, dang, why would I don't want to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? So
hopefully. Hopefully,
Most
because we do
likely.
get some kids that grow up where it's like it's a rage. If they're growing up in a household where everybody's yelling at each other, we raise the volume in the household. So I'm very careful. I don't yell. I don't yell at her. I don't yell at her mom. I don't yell at. We don't yell because I want my daughter to know that what I say, I mean it. And she can't gauge my meaning based off the volume of what I'm saying. So I say, clean your room. If you don't clean your room, there's got to be immediate consequences because I don't want to have to say, clean your room. Clean your room. Clean your room. And then they're like, whew, Dad's serious. No, the first time I said it, I was very serious. Right? So even my 11-year-old, I don't yell at her. I'll tell her what I have to say. And now at this point, she knows I better do it the first time. But if you grow up in a household where you're constantly yelling at somebody or you're talking to somebody in a disrespectful manner to get them to do what you want them to do, they might think that that's the way to do it because we've been raised that way. I've been conditioned that way. So it's hard to measure right from wrong in their perspective because this is the only way it is from my idea.
I get you. And you might be right, man.
Not right or wrong.
It's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow that some people don't know what's right from wrong. Now, maybe some people with chemical imbalances can't differentiate, but I think generally speaking, people know. Even those people in that neighborhood through the rock through the dude window, they were in a stage. They were not in a rational mind state. They were angry. They were triggered. You know what I'm saying?
Or entitled.
That too.
This is mine, and this is my country.
But they were angry too.
Yeah, true.
Who are you to come through? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And listen, I got family in that city in Sanford.
Word.
It's backwards. It shouldn't exist. It sucks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And there's poor white people that are being racist. I'm like, but you're poor. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're poor, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that is a whole different backwards place. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, people, if you don't know, it's too bad. Ignorance is no excuse for the universal laws, the city laws, the state laws, all of that. So if you don't know, that's your bad.
Yeah.
You know
But it's also our responsibility because how many people have hit you say, yo, my life has been changed, right? And I believe if you weren't doing what you're doing, there's a whole group of people that would be lost. They'd be left in ignorance if you didn't respond to your responsibility, right? So that's why like all these teachers, coaches that we have in this space, I hope we don't see it as just a way to build a following so we have an audience of customers. Right? There's something in your heart that says, I have to lead my people, right? Because every podcast episode that I don't do, I'm leaving someone in the dark. I'm off my assignment and my ignorance, right? So the people on my team, I don't know where they would be if I didn't feel the responsibility. Right or wrong, I don't know. This is just my perspective, right? So hopefully this is like a motivation for somebody to go hard. There are some people who have some real information. You've been studying, you got knowledge, but you're selfish because you keep it to yourself. And you're even worse than the person that doesn't have the gift that you have, that's going out doing their best to share it, right? I look at those people as selfish because I'm just gathering for myself. So I look at it like there's some sheep that will listen to my voice and my voice only. Like there's some people that follow you, no matter how articulate I am, how many ads I throw their way or whatever, they're just not going to resonate with me, right? But you are accepting the responsibility and doing it. So that's like my message for people. Like there's a group of people that will only listen to you, right? And we gotta wake them up, man.
Yeah. See, I don't think that people have a responsibility to share information. I just don't. I don't think that people have a responsibility to help other people. I'm just being honest. I do look at life for what it is, and it's survival of the fit. Now, we also assign meaning to life. You know, we wanna have something to live for. We wanna, make this something more than just we live and we die. You know? So me personally, what the meaning that I assign to my life, it does include helping people, it's being a servant. So that's me. But there's nobody entitled to anything that I have. Only my children. You know what I mean? Not even my parents, So But of course, I love and I'm gonna always do for my parents.
Yeah.
But I don't appreciate when people come around me with entitlement. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
Right.
Doesn't work well with me
For sure.
because don't ask. I'm gonna do for you. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're really in need, right? But outside of that, you know, because there's a lot of teaching that can be done without words. You know, like a good friend of mine, his name is Leroy, Mr. Man out in AZ. He is a stand-up guy. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, through and through. And he taught me so much as a young adult without telling me, you need to do this, make sure you do this. It's just me watching him.
Yeah.
That's the best teacher because it's so real. I'm watching this dude change his life.
Yeah.
I'm watching him be honest to everybody, looking a man in the face and telling him what he feel. You know what I'm saying? In a powerful way, but not an intimidating way. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I feel like the best form of teaching is doing, you know? But yeah, we live in a space to where we could broadcast our thoughts and ideas. So why not put it out? You know, if I'm gonna do content, me personally, I want it to be meaningful.
Yeah.
Because the things that I choose to consume for content is meaningful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was telling Neil how I listen to more information in the whip than music.
Yeah,
you know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying? So it's like fascinating. I love learning.
Yeah.
You know, so I try to like channel that to like-minded people. You know?
Absolutely. That's a good. I can really appreciate this conversation because I think we'll be driving engagement in the comments. Like, yo, I believe this. I believe that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's good for conversation.
Yeah, I'm curious of what people feel.
Yeah, 100%.
Do people? Y'all answer this question. Do people of a certain stature with certain types of information and resources, do they owe it to people to share it, or is it up to people to fend for themselves?
Maybe not but I think responsibility. And I feel like you would feel it. From what I know about you, you don't have to do this. You know what I mean? Like it's not moving the needle in your life. Like you could literally, like I know a bunch of people just like, I don't desire a whole lot. Like I don't have to go on trips once a week, or I don't need a Maybach. I don't need a mansion. I don't need none of that stuff. So based on my needs and what I feel, I could be okay. Like my wife just raised my family for the next, I don't know, X amount of years. I'll be fine. I don't have to work. But I think you, I don't think you do your podcast because you want people to look at you and say, oh, he got the biggest channel in the world. Like, I'm sure you get enough testimonials that say this is needed for our people. And if nobody did it, I mean, I'm sure Martin Luther King ain't want to be who he was in terms of like putting myself out on the line, like Malcolm X, like to go out there knowing they're going to assess. They have to have this thought in their mind.
Yeah.
Like there is a system that is designed to shut me up. They're not naive enough to know that.
Right.
Why do they keep doing it? And I'll ask you that question.
Yeah. Purpose, man. Yeah. Purpose. And then I feel like when you of that stature and you have that kind of temperament, you're fearless, you know? Because I'm fearless, you know? Nobody can shut me up. They had to kill me. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm just...
Why would you put yourself in harm's way? Why?
Because, is what I said earlier, like, maybe it's vanity, and I'll be honest, maybe it's because when I do die, I want a glorious death. You know what I mean? Versus a feeble old man fading away. You know what I'm saying? They have to change my diaper. I don't want that. You know what I mean? So, and I'm just being honest, you know? I told my son the other day, I said, look, we're talking, and I said, this is going to be a bold statement, son, but there's nobody that's going to give you as good as advice as I'm going to give you, because I love you more than I love myself. If it was a case of me dying for you to stay alive, no question. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I'm wired. That's how I'm programmed. So yeah, if it took me, you know, because look, we die, we deteriorate, we change forms and go back into the earth. Our people will miss us, you know, less and less over time. It's normal. You stop.
That's real.
Nah,
That's
nah, I
real.
mean, you out of sight, out of mind, bro.
That's a
you know?
fact.
So it's like, you
I
know.
never heard it put that way. I like that.
So you know, I got some people up there that's immortalized because of the lives that they lived, the things that they've done. You know, Martin Luther King. I mean, some of the people still alive.
Yeah.
But Ali, you know what I mean?
That's crazy. You got Nas right next to Gandhi.
Nas, Gandhi, Carlin. You know, these people are special to me. You know what I mean? For my own little reasons or whatever. So, you know, that'd be cool for me to have stood for something of meaning.
For sure.
For somebody to remember. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I guess we don't ever want to die. And this is what we do, is a way for us to stay alive forever. Broadcasting our thoughts and our emotions and our ideas to the world.
I like
you know
that.
What I mean?
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this conversation.
Yo, so let's talk about you, man. Like you're in Atlanta. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Willingboro, New Jersey, originally. Yep, and then came down to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. So how'd you get started in all of this? Because there's a huge movement of Black influencers in the financial space, right? Just putting people on to real game on how to make money and how to like really advance their lives, and are all killing it, all doing well. Yeah. How'd you get into this?
I've always been an entrepreneur since, a kid. It's like I'm raking leaves, and my dad doesn't like the leaves on the lawn, so he forces me to go rake them. Mm-hmm. And then once you rake them, you see that it looks nicer than everybody else's.
Right.
And I don't know why God gave me the vision or the question to say, yo, if my lawn looks prettier without leaves, I wonder why those lawns aren't raked. You know what I mean? Like where that thought comes from. Right. So I knock on the door, say, hey, Miss Johnson, would you like me to rake your leaves? And she says, yes. And she says, well, how much are you going to charge me? And I said, I don't know. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was, I didn't,
you like, how much you got?
Right. I wasn't thinking business.
What's your budget?
Entrepreneurship says I do something and I can see the issues around me. How can I solve more problems? Right. So I can't credit myself for being the greatest thinker, the greatest entrepreneur. I don't know where that thought comes. Go knock on her door and just find out. And then you start a little business that way. But went to school. Always just kind of thinking of how I can make more money somehow or do something cool. Fast forward, I'm working at the Cheesecake Factory as a server, and I was there for 6 years. But in the middle of that, I started this brand called Sleep is for Suckers, T-shirt brand geared towards entrepreneurship and anyone that's losing sleep doing what they love. And I became the poster child for my own message, which I think was cool about me is I wasn't telling people what they need to do to be successful.
Right.
I built my whole brand off telling people what I'm going to do to make myself successful. I never felt the need to be the person that's high and mighty. Never felt the need to be, yo, I'm doing this is what y'all need to do. If y'all gonna fail if y'all don't do the stuff that I'm doing. I'm like, yo, this is what I'm doing, and I think this is going to work. And just so happened that a lot of people felt the same way. We sold a bunch of T-shirts, left my job in October 2012. And
just selling merch.
Just selling merch.
Dope.
Yep.
Dope.
So at this point, I'm working my job and my dream at the same time. And then the money I started making from this T-shirt brand started to rival my job's income. So I'm working less and less at my job, working more and more on my business. So I don't teach people to just quit their job and just follow their dream. I'm like building the dream during like my time of reality of this is what I have to do as a job. And it just kind of evolved naturally. When you do something successfully, people ask you how you did it. So people ask me, how'd you build your T-shirt brand? I start doing these free consultations. Then I realized that this is taking a lot of my time. So you can take me to lunch and I'll teach you.
Right.
And people started taking me to lunch. And then that got overwhelming because now everybody wants to take me. I don't have that much time. I got to make money. Right. If you want me to coach you, I have to take time away from me making money. You're going to have to replace that. So I started charging people for, these sessions, like $50, $100. And long story short, man, just about 2014, I started doing these entrepreneurship workshops because I always believed in community. Right. Any life-changing income that I've ever made, any major move that I've made, there was always somebody else right there. Somebody that every opportunity that I've ever had, someone ushered me into it, or someone coached me into it. It's always, and I think everybody will relate to that. So in 2014, I started doing these entrepreneurship workshops in Atlanta, and I would just go to a restaurant and say, yo, what's your slowest day? They'll say, well, we're slow on Wednesday. Well, great. I want to do a workshop. We'll bring people into your slow day at your restaurant. You make money off the bar. Let me charge at the door. And there's a mutual relationship right there. And we just kept doing that. And long story short, I never stopped that process. And now I have the Social Proof podcast where I literally get to highlight successful people or someone that's done something amazing. I get to highlight them for a reason. Highlight people who deserve to be highlighted. And long story short, that's how I got here, man.
That's incredible, man. So Social Proof podcasting, what does that mean, social proof?
Social proof is the act of doing something and being able to like document it and show someone else that you did it. This is my proof. So I think a lot of people lack social proof because anybody can buy a mic and I can teach anything, especially if it sounds good. I don't believe, and they're going to kill me in the comments for this, I don't believe someone that's not in a relationship can really coach, not coach, but effectively understand what it means to be in a relationship. Because from the outside looking in, it's like, oh, you do that and you do that and you guys will be happy. But to be in a relationship, you have to not only understand what needs to happen, but how are they feeling at this moment?
Right.
So there's certain times that I get real stubborn, right? I'll go into my hole. Like I'll just, if me and my wife have a disagreement, I shy away, right? I don't get aggressive. I get quiet. And I haven't had, and I'm better. I'm getting better now because my wife is teaching me to communicate. But it's hard for someone to tell me outside of, yo, you need to communicate.
Right.
Don't go to bed being mad. It's easy for you to say it, but if you can't identify with how I feel in the moment, because I know sometimes, this is me being stubborn, I know I need to go apologize. But if you can't like coach me and understand why I'm not doing the thing that I know I need to do, now it's just good information.
Right.
So
yeah, people gotta have that practical application with the knowledge that they have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because knowledge is just words. You know, like memorizing.
And not saying there's not good relationship coaches that don't. There are some, right? But I think the person has to identify. They have to come to some sort of realization first.
Right.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's a culture of right now in the podcast space, people dealing with relationship issues or tactics, but they don't seem to be in any healthy relationships themselves. So I get it, you know, and it's interesting, you know what I mean? So, but listen.
You know what's crazy too? I literally have to, as you're going towards something, right? Something has to be out of balance, meaning like right now I'm in California, my family's in Georgia. So I had to make a conscious decision that says, I'm going to focus on building this business and I'm not focused on my family right now. No, we don't say it out of our mouths.
Right.
But that's essentially what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, forget them kids, forget that wife, forget that family right now. I'm not going to get this money. Right? Again, we don't want to say it out loud, but when there's a focus, there's got to be something out of balance. And if you're trying to balance it all, that probably means that you're not focused on anything. Right. I was telling my guy, if you're married and you're an entrepreneur and there's no friction at all, you're probably not building an effective business. Right. If she never has to tell you, yo, what time are you going to be here? Yeah. Yo, what time are you coming to bed? Like, you always working on, that means you're probably too in balance, which maybe that's your focus, like building your family, but the business can't grow as much as you can build it. You know what I mean?
Well, any relationship,
hold on. It's getting busy. I'm going to take this.
Is it hot in here?
No, you good.
Hold on. I'm going to take a time out real quick because I'm burning up. Where you're at right now, what's the next ascension? What do you see for in the stars for yourself?
Building out. So I have a community called the Morning Meetup.
Morning Meetup.
The Morning Meetup, yep. So themorningmeetup.com, it's an organization of entrepreneurs that are growing together every single day. So every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time, which is 5 a.m. West Coast time, I'm on a call and I'm teaching entrepreneurs, hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs every single morning from all across the country. So we'll have a theme for the month, like, I don't know, whether it's content creation or millionaire mindset or something. There'll be a theme for the month. And every day throughout the month, where we have a call that supports the theme. So for instance, if the theme of the month is content creation, this Monday the theme will be how to grow your YouTube or how to create content or whatever it's going to be, TikTok or whatever. So every single month, that's what we do every single day. And we have a book club, one of the probably the biggest book club in the world of consistent book club members, where we'll read a chapter at night and then come back on the call from 7:45 to 8:15. We'll discuss the chapter that we all read. What did you take from the chapter? Because I believe the best way to learn is to teach. So if you just read it and you're not able to like regurgitate it, eventually you'll forget it. Yeah. So that's my objective is growing that to 10,000 members by the end of this year. And I feel really, really good about it.
So the book club, that's every day?
Yeah, so everybody in the morning meetup, we read a chapter every single day, Monday through Friday. And we don't, it's not like a whole bunch of pages. Like it might be 6 to 10 pages that we all read. And then we come back and discuss it every morning.
So y'all read it the night before? Okay.
Yeah.
And you're giving you're teaching business tactics every day.
Every day.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, I mean, but they're going to do something else for that hour. So, and some people look at me like, yo, why would you do that every single day? It's one, diluting your brand. Two, why would someone pay you a lot of money if you're going to charge $79 a month to talk to you every day throughout the month? And
how are you managing these people? Is it a Zoom?
Yeah, we're on a Zoom call. Yeah, and then we have an app that we built. We just launched an app maybe like 3 months ago. Now everybody's in the app, so there's community.
What's the app?
The Morning Meetup app.
And do they have to buy in to get the app?
Well, you download the app for free, and you can pick one of the plans, either $79 a month or $3.99 for the year, which sounds crazy. I will talk to you every single day for a year.
Right.
For $400.
Have you ever missed a day?
Nah. No, well, unless I'm traveling or I'm on vacation and my wife is like, yo, this is not a work trip. I'm like, okay, I got you.
Right.
But very, very rarely will I miss a day. Very rarely. But I would say 95% of the year, the calls, I'm on there.
Run me through one of these calls. Like, how does it go?
So, for instance, okay, cool. I'll actually tell you. So tomorrow, so the theme of the month right now is the psychology of success. That's the theme of the month. And then the book club we're reading is the psychology of money, which is fire. So Wednesday, my topic is taking advantage of opportunity. So 7:45, and here, check out the flyer. And I have like special guest speakers. You see my boy CEO Matty J. He actually spoke today. Jovan is doing Community Day tomorrow, where they'll be able to like shout out their business. It's going to be 400 people on that call every day at least. So anyway, so Wednesday I'll be teaching taking advantage of opportunity. So what happens is at 7:45 Eastern, Bryn will jump on. She hosts the book club. She will jump on and say, okay, what's the bars y'all got from last night's reading? And then everybody's going to chime in. People are going to chime in. They raise their hand on Zoom and say, well, this was page 69. This is what I learned. Page 70. This is what I got. And we'll explain what we learned. So that goes on from 7:45 to about 8:10. 8:10 we do announcements, and then from 8:11, 8:12, 8:15 or whatever till 9 o'clock. And I have a hard stop at 9 o'clock. I'm going to teach taking advantage of opportunities, whatever the theme is for the month, for that call.
And that was today?
Today was CEO Matty J. He presented the 8:15 to 9 o'clock hour.
Okay. All right, cool. And what was the tactics discussed today? I missed out. I'm trying to get these sips.
I need to have you on the call.
I'm with it, bro. I'm with it.
That was 5 o'clock over here.
I'm up early every morning.
Oh, say less.
I'm up at 5-ish, but I'm not woke yet. But for you, for that day, I'll make sure I get to bed extra early.
Right. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
Let me get you probably what I'm getting into Wednesday is taking advantage of opportunity. One, I'll probably teach on how you have to understand what opportunity is for you to take advantage of
To
it.
even know, right?
You feel me? And opportunity isn't something that, like, there might be opportunity right there, but that's not going to be an opportunity for all three of us in this room. Right? It might be a curse for you, an opportunity for me. Right? So we have to identify one based on our goal.
Or
what does opportunity
or
look
it
like?
might be a candle for some. I'll fuck with you.
Right.
We looking at a candle. Y'all know y'all can't see it.
So yeah, I'll probably give 3 or 4 things to consider. I'll
That'd be dope.
probably give them I don't know, something to do after the call, some sort of homework, and we'll be back.
Do you do a Q&A?
Yeah, we'll do Q&A.
Yeah.
Thursdays and a lot of Fridays we do Q&A totally. So all Thursdays is just Q&A. Every Thursday.
My very first speaking event, I prepared my talk. I go, I'm bombing. It sucks.
Does it?
Yeah, because I'm just talking. I scrapped it. I said, I'm sorry about that, y'all. I know that was boring. Let's talk. I'm not gonna talk about. I want to talk about what y'all want to talk about.
All right.
Let's talk. And then ever since then, every time I speak, I have a general idea of what I'm talking about. I don't prepare anything. I go, give some background information, talk about whatever the topic is for a minute, and then I open it up.
Yeah, for sure.
The best dialogue like that.
100%.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you was bombing and you knew it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got self-awareness.
Give you the feeling like
It's like, yeah, it's not the vibes. You know what I'm saying? When at my talks, it's a lot of laughter. It's my personality. If I'm writing, if I write it out, it's not my personality.
Yeah.
It's just pure intellect. It's pure information. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm talking, you understand when you're explaining something, just from like off the rip, you may say something like, you may need to give them some context or some color, some flavor to what you're explaining to really help them, help them digest it a little bit better. Yeah. But when you're locked in to that structure, it's none of that. You know what I mean? So I learned that I did it one time, never did it again.
Really?
And I have no fear to go speak anywhere. You know what I mean? I like it. My brain is always going anyway. So, but the structured format doesn't work for me.
You know what you should do? You should try to create a structured format. The first time you did
That works.
it didn't work. Well, I mean,
well, it's a loose structure. It's bullet points.
yeah, for sure.
I go with bullet points. I have my points.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
one of the hardest things for me to do is to have an idea today, and then put together like PowerPoint presentation of the idea. But it's really, really good though. It's really, really good information because I have time to think through not only the information, but also the visual representation. I told my boy Trap to do this one time, and he was like, yo, I'm just gonna go off the hook. I said, yo, at least have some slides up. He's like, well, I don't do slides. I'm like, yo, a picture's worth 1,000 words. You can say all kind of stuff, but when you say it and they see it,
oh yeah, it's more impactful.
Crazy.
And it's multiple.
No. I was saying for you, only because it doesn't work for you and you don't really like it, you should just do it. Just conquer that joint and go crazy.
I like that. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
It's just about I'm a fluid thinker, so I need that wiggle room. I need
for sure.
The structure. That is funny, man. That day, it was a bomb, talk.
Right.
But to read, it was bomb for somebody to read it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But just me reading it, nah, it's not the vibes.
When was that?
Man, it was years ago, 2013 maybe.
Bro, if you find that presentation,
it's
let's say you had it,
right, and
the person that you are today, the same joint,
right,
the person you are today, it'll be up there, but you won't feel the need to read every word. It'll just that would be just a crutch for you.
Yeah.
But you're still flowing, and then you're pointing back. That joint would be out. That could be an NFT. I'd pay good money for that speech.
NFT? Do you invest in NFTs?
No, I don't understand it yet.
Crypto,
yes. Even though I don't understand that either, but I do. Right. I do invest in it. NFTs, I want to launch my own NFT because I'm starting to understand it, but I haven't invested in it.
What's your understanding of it thus far?
let me tell you the idea that I have for the NFT, and that'll
Okay.
kind of give you my understanding,
All right.
because I can't even really articulate
Okay.
it like that. So my objective is, I come from like apparel, t-shirts, right? So this is how my entrepreneurial mind works. I'll create a t-shirt line, but the t-shirt, the you have to buy the NFT to be a part of this brand. So for instance, let's say this is my t-shirt. We'll sell the t-shirts, but the people who hold the NFT have a profitable stake in the sale of the shirts. So if I have 100 people that bought this t-shirt and they actually get it, and they paid, let's say, thousands of dollars for this NFT. Well, the website has a bunch of t-shirts on there that anytime one's sold, my NFT holders get an equitable stake in, I don't know if I can use the word equity, but they will get revenue from each shirt that's sold, which means if you got 100 people that believe in a brand and they have some sort of ownership in it, they'll go out and tell other people to wear it. So that's my idea of how I want to structure an NFT, but I got to figure out how to structure the smart contract to where it distributes the money.
Yeah, there's really smart coders that do that part. You just
Is
tell
that
them
an ill
what
idea though?
Huh?
Is that a dope
It's a
idea?
great idea. Whenever you put not equity but some form of disbursement of funds in it, it's a win-win. That's an easy win, because the whole premise of NFTs is kind of taking on its own life, and people that invest in your business, in your NFT, they want you to help them make money. So that's an easy, very identifiable way for them to make money, right? NFT game I love it. I got it in January. I hopped in not knowing anything, but I wanted to learn,
When
right?
you say you hopped in, what do you mean?
I created a project. I launched a project through crypto.com. And it sold out in a couple hours. I didn't think anybody would buy any of it, you know what I mean? But it worked. So, like I said, I didn't know anything. I had my agent kind of guiding me. Crypto.com was very supportive, and they had me as a featured creator because of my background, my social media, this, that, and the third. So, they did a lot of their own marketing, and their community is very savvy with cryptos and NFTs. So I didn't even market it to my people because I didn't know how. You know what I mean? And it still sold out. So
All right, real quick, and I know this is your podcast, but I got it.
Let's go.
So, what was the NFT?
It was art, pictures, yeah.
And how much did you sell them for?
It was 5 different editions.
Yeah.
The limited was 300, and then it goes down to 250, 200, 150.
How
Something
many
like
did you
that.
sell?
I don't know, but it was 2 or 3 were limited. No, 3 were limited, right? And those sold first.
But you could sell more than the 3.
I sold 5. So 3 were limited, so X amount, 100 for each or whatever, right?
see.
Those went first because people have a fear of missing out. If something more expensive and it's a limited supply, they're going to buy that first. Clockwork, right? Human behavior is very predictable, and that happened. I saw it. And then the 2 open editions, which is you can buy all day for 24 hours, is available. Of course, those sold the most, right? Because it was more available, but that wasn't the excitement. It was the 3 limited ones, right? So it was a small project, though, right? I didn't know the formula. There's a formula to make $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, whatever, on your launch day. I didn't know anything about that, so I made $250,000, couple hours, but I didn't know the formula. If I knew the formula,
Without
it would
the
have been
formula.
It would have been different. You know what I'm saying?
That'll be my first NFT buy. I don't have a NFT.
This is going to be a good way for you to learn the whole world of NFTs. For me, I have to do it. I have to be in it. Yeah. I can't read it and I got it. That doesn't work for me.
And I think one of the reasons I haven't jumped in to create my own NFT is because I haven't bought one yet. So I promise you, before I sell something to anybody,
for sure.
I'm always invested first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's probably why I haven't really jumped in because I ain't invested.
You're limited to your imagination. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And there's no limits to that. And here's the thing, man. Everything is real. If you think it, you could bring it to reality.
That's a
If you
fact.
think it, it's a real thing. Your thoughts are real.
Yeah.
And then you can manifest it in the physical universe. You know what I mean? I mean, we're doing it now with microphones and cameras, and this is all. We live in a time of magic.
Yeah.
Really.
Right.
Explain this to somebody 100 years ago.
Right.
FaceTime. What?
No way.
That-
Well, I was talking to. I was actually doing a presentation, and I don't think people understand what's real and what's not real, right? So if you have, I made this T-shirt where it's like it's a woman with a blindfold and it says faith on it, right? So I was trying to remind people that you have to believe in what you saw and not what you see. So what you saw is this idea, this vision. Mm-hmm. That's real. But what we see is the job that we have to go to every day. Like we have to see the bills on the refrigerator. I don't know if you ever used to post your bills on the refrigerator. No, I did growing up because that's what my mom did. That's what my parents did. I'm like, yo, we like the all the stuff that we have to go through. That's reality. Mm-hmm. But I really, really started to get rich when I realized that the things that are real aren't really real. They're not really there. Like
physically tangible.
Every single issue that I've ever had in my life, like, I mean, I thought I was not going to get through it. The worst things in my life, I realized, was the thing necessary for me to get to the next level.
That's the essence of life. Mm-hmm. It's a duality of life. Yeah. Love, hate, good, bad, chaos, order. You can't have one without the other. Mm-hmm. You cannot ever be happy if you're never sad. You know what I mean? But if you're sad, you have something to look forward to. You're going to be happy one day. I always say this, is always sunshine after the rain. 100%. And there's always way more sunshine than rain. Yeah. That's why I be telling people about perspective so much, because it's so powerful. When you're getting rained on, you feel like that's the end of the world, but it's not. It's so temporary. And deal with it. Fuck it. Yeah. Embrace it. Like, rain some more. Oh, that's it. You know what I'm saying? So that way, the next time you experience rain, is not that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know that sunshine is coming. For sure. So that's a defense mechanism for me. Right. For real. Because I've been through so many things, you know, of my own fault, like my own bad decisions that made me bump my head so many times. I learned to deal with it the right way. Yeah. So stress, I always tell people, man, stress is my best friend. Because stress makes us powerful. It makes us strong. That's literally the nature of stress. It breaks you or it builds you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's how you deal with it, you know? Yeah,
actually, in that scenario is when I was like, I'm frantic. And I remember I forgot who I was talking to. I was just frantic because I couldn't figure it out. And I'm just going through all of my problems. And I'm like, yo, I can't get my car because I got insurance, but my license is suspended and this. Like, all this stuff is happening. Mm-hmm. And I got out. I remember I hung up the phone and I sat there and I went and grabbed a sheet of paper and I started to map out what needs to happen first. Like, what are the steps to get to a place of being okay? And through this process, I realized that I need to put my bills on autopay because I had the money, but I just forgot to pay it. And I understand myself. Sometimes I'm irresponsible. I learned to put my bills on autopay, which has probably save me hundreds of thousands of dollars, or just not paying late fees and stuff like that, right? Yeah. I also learned, like, in the most chaotic times, that there's an answer to this. Mm-hmm. There's an answer. There's for sure an answer, and if I haven't figured it out, it's just simply because I'm not the type of person that can figure it out yet. Mm-hmm. So I haven't made 8 figures yet. Mm-hmm. But I know the only reason I haven't made 10 million in one calendar year is because I haven't become the type of person who can figure it out. So like that situation where I have to like figure out how to put these pieces together has been like, I've probably made millions based on me being able to think something through. And if I never got through that situation, if that cop wasn't on duty that day, or I wasn't driving a little faster and I never went through that, I would probably still work at the security as a security guard.
Well, what happened was you attracted a diseased situation to yourself, which when we say disease, people think of like an illness, but the word dis-ease is basically the to take away ease, to take away comfort, right? So sometimes we attract these things to ourselves to prevent something from worse from happening. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So, you know, I could think of times in my life where I'm like, damn, today of all days. But had that not happened, I would have grown deeper into whatever I was into.
Every time.
Like you familiar with like neural pathways and neurogenesis and things of that nature. And it's basically like, you know, let's say there's an emotion, or every time you get disappointed, you punch the wall. You know what I mean? You start doing that, you create a neural pathway. So it seems like that's just what you do. That's a habit, right? You have to break that, right? And it becomes harder the more you do it. You can still, we have what's called neuroplasticity, which they just learned about, which means our brains are like plastic. It's not etched in stone. That neural pathways is basically a neuron firing in a certain direction based on a decision you make off of some kind of stimuli, right? So they used to think that you're stuck. That's how you are when you're a certain age. But they learned it's not true. So, however, the older you get and the more you follow down those certain neural pathways, the harder it is to change. I tell people all the time, when you have bad habits, if somebody can pull your coattail, you recognize it, you got to change it, because the longer you go, it gets harder to get out of it. And I see this with people I know that never change. You know what I'm saying? They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's not true. That dog got to really want to learn and really want to be better. People that have deficient behaviors, people that do things that are not productive to them or other people, you know, the older they get, it's hard. They get stuck in their ways, and it's difficult to change. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it can't happen. And even like we're working out, I try to tell people, like, look, yo, the younger you are, get hooked now. Because when I was a trainer in the gym and somebody had come in because they doctor sent them to the gym, they're older, they're set in their ways. They're in whatever pain they're in for their ailment. Working out hurts when you don't do it, right? They're sore. They're not going to see results that fast. They're probably intimidated by everybody in the gym. They're going to walk away. It don't have to be like that, right? But that's just how it be. The older you get without getting stuck with this healthy lifestyle. It's a spiritual aspect to it too. You're really honoring your temple. You're honoring your vessel that we've been blessed with. When I was going through the marketing for my NFT project, you know, I'm doing the Twitter talks, the Twitter space, and, you know, there's all these successful crypto investors. And I'm like, I know y'all are killing it, right? Bank account fat, yep. How you look, though? How you look when you take your shirt off? Right. Imagine if that matched. Yeah. It enhances everything, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they were like, shit, he's right. You know what I mean? So, and it's real. Like, sometimes people separate, like, having the bag and being in shape. Like, they can't be together. Yeah. And when I say shape, physically, mentally, spiritually, all of that, and having the bag. Yeah. Bring it all together, singularity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I'm on that vibe, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I don't ever want to get off, you know? So, yeah. And I tell people that you have your bank app. You want to know your crypto wallets, your everything, but nobody had their health on there. You know what I'm saying? Because they email you a PDF of your results, so you have it on your phone. It's a reality. Like, oh, okay, I need to fix this. Because the things on there, some people don't want to know, but you should know if you want to live a quality life. Yeah,
for sure.
Not quantity. I don't want to live patched up. Yeah, hooked up to shit. You know what I'm saying?
The dangerous part too is that it's not that bad. You know what I mean? Like it's not in terms of I'm not on a deathbed. I'm not like decrepit. I'm not like I don't feel unhealthy. Now I know when I get this blood checked, they're gonna find all kind of stuff, right? But
you might be fine. You never know.
Yeah, but I think that the reason that I haven't pushed it to the max is because it's not that bad.
So you feel fine. Yeah. You
feel me? Like it's when I think the biggest enemy to great is good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
so you already know.
Bro, I'm so thankful when I was working at the Cheesecake Factory that I was making $30,000 a year. Because if I was making $100,000, I might not have quit. You know what I mean? It might have been too good. It might have been I was talking to one of my ex-managers, And this is like while I'm full-time entrepreneur and I'm just doing my thing, and I go into the Cheesecake Factory and I see her, and she was pregnant and they just had another child, and no, she just had another child, and I think I asked her, like, do you want to have another child, another kid? She's like, I want to, but me and my husband, we already are always at work and all that kind of stuff for our baby that we have now. And you know me, I always go into entrepreneurship. Like, you ever considered like starting something to make some money?
Right.
And what she told me, like, just blew me away, and I never forgot it. She said, I really don't want to start anything because me and my husband already make good money, and we don't want to disrupt that. The way I put that together in my head was, she makes too much money to spend time with her baby. Like, she makes too much money. The job has her so comfortable that she won't do anything about it so that she can spend more time with her child or have the time to have another child to give just as much love to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, the fact that she's making six figures is the thing that's keeping her from being the mother that she'd love to be. And this is not my words, it's hers, right? Yeah. She's like, yo, I would love to spend more time with my baby. Here's the solution. Start something. Me and my husband, we already make really good money. And and you got to do that.
Like, okay.
It's not.
It's fascinating. Why is it fascinating? And I'll get into it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's wild, though. But see, you're thinking like a chess player. You know, in chess, you gotta when you're making a move, you don't make a move just to make a move. If you decide to move this piece, right, you identify where you're gonna move it to, and then you identify how he can counter you, and if it's worth a trade, or if you could get the better of that exchange. You know what I'm saying? Or if you sacrifice that piece for some positioning. You gotta think of so many different things, and people don't think that. They just think, oh, I can move this here, I'm just gonna move it there. They don't think past that one move. You know what I mean? You move. Yeah. You have a 4-dimensional mind, and some people don't. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Which, that's fine. That's the reality for most people, and it's not bad. Mm-hmm. It's just where people are at, and it's okay. Yeah. Listen, most people on this planet, the Buddhists have a very interesting belief. They believe that most people, they believe in like reincarnation, right? They don't believe in a real death. They believe that when you exit this shell, you know, you sleep, right? Because you have to come back and redo it. They believe most people will come back and redo it, mm-hmm. right? Yeah. Until they become enlightened to where they can move on to a next level. But that sleep is going to be either nirvana, and nirvana you experience if you lived a good life, so you get rewarded with the people and the things that you love the most. And they describe it like dropping a rock in the water. Like the more good deeds you've done, the bigger the rock is. So the bigger that splash, that wave go out, and the time of your nirvana is however far those waves go out, all the way out, and then come all the way back to a still, right? And then they don't have a hell, but the hell would be just sleep. Same thing. The worse you were, the bigger the rock. That's how long, you know what I'm saying? But they do believe that most people got to redo it again. And a small amount of people get it, and they move on. After their nirvana, they move on to a higher existence of life. And it's interesting, they believe it's a star, a sun. And suns have lifespans like way longer, but they start out small and weak and dim. They grow big and strong and powerful. Then as they get old, they get smaller but more dense, right? Like an old person's dense with wisdom and intellect and experiences until they die. And when they die, they explode. And these particles are traveling throughout the universe at crazy speeds. And then there's another one that exploded, and they get together and form a new star. You know what I'm saying? It's life. It's crazy.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And
that's dope.
Yeah, and the nation of gods and earths, we have a belief of 85% of the people are deaf, dumb, and blind. They're just not aware. They're asleep, you know? And then there's 5% that are the poor righteous teachers, the ones trying to lead these people into salvation, you know what I mean? And then you have another small percent, 10% that are like, you know, politicians, the evil the people that know what's up, but they want to keep everybody blind to profit off of them, and to and so, but it's still another ideology that really spells out how most people just don't get it, and that's fine. They just have to keep going until they, get to that level of ascension or enlightenment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it may be another lifetime. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know nothing. Yeah. But it's interesting. So I never look down on people that don't get it. I try my best to help them get it. Hell, I don't get it all. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, 100%.
But I'm always trying to learn and become better. That's why I love doing this, because I meet people like you, Neo. I had M500 on here, Wall Street Trapper, like a lot of people. I meet the dopest people in here. You know what I'm saying?
No, I love it. And we talked about like everything. Like bad stuff, man. This is dope, man.
Yeah. Because I know typically you only talk about entrepreneur stuff, but it's more to it than that. And there's a whole spiritual component to people who are successful. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I like to do is to try to help people tap into that spiritual side. And when I say that, it's like this: like in any business that I've ever started, I've never considered money, like how much I can make. I've never done that. I never did projections on, I can make this, because that's never my focus. My focus is how good my product or my services can be. That's my focus. Yeah. As a result of that, the money comes.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, and I feel like that's a more holistic and spiritual approach to entrepreneurship, really making yourself good at what you do or providing things that are very beneficial to people.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Till you sleep. You got the wrong camera on the wrong person. Jeez. But bro, so you have how can people tap into your calls and some of the things that you have going on?
Yeah, themorningmeetup.com. I know it seems like it seems like real. Like, yo, it's got to be a recording or it's a webinar, but I'm literally live on it. You'll see hundreds and hundreds of live entrepreneurs on Zoom in these little boxes every single morning.
Like the Brady Bunch.
Absolutely. And we'll have
That's
a speaker. We'll have some good conversation, good content. And every so often, a couple times a year, I'll get everybody together, book out a venue, and we'll do like what I call a family reunion. That's where dope. We all just get together. I don't charge them nothing. They just get to come and they fellowship, they network with each other, and we learn and just get like I'm just everything I do is community. Everything. Every single thing I do. When I go to a city, if I'm gonna be there for a couple days, I reach out to the people in the morning meetup like, yo, I'm in Charlotte. Come on out. I'm taking y'all to breakfast. Anybody in Charlotte, let's go. LA, let's go. Like they'll tell you this is when I'm on, I think the next month, they do their own meetup in Miami. Like they just get together, I think twice a month or something like that. And I said, all right, bet. Well, I'll come down there and I'll take all y'all to lunch. Like it's not about the money that they pay to be in the program. Because my objective is the money that they give to me, I put it back out in the community. And if that grows, I'm happy. So yeah, man. themorningmeetup.com. You can go to your app store. Download The Morning Meetup. You'll see it on there. Yeah, man. 100% community. And tap into the Social Proof Podcast.
Let them know where they can find you on IG on all platforms.
Oh, absolutely. Instagram at Sleep is 4 Suckers with the number 4, SUCKERS. Number 4 is IS, the number 4 Suckers. You'll see it on there. My YouTube channel, David Never Sleeps. David Never Sleeps. I got all kind of entrepreneurial stuff on there, not just the podcast, but me teaching, me coaching, just a bunch of stuff on there. And the Social Proof Podcast, man. I
gotta say, y'all, make sure y'all tap into his podcast. The man, he's legit himself, but he has so many legit entrepreneurs on there. I remember the one you did with him, 500. He started out just giving game.
Yeah.
Free game. Yeah. Leveraging credit. You know what I'm saying? So, and these are tactics. I went through his whole course, right? And I was very impressed because prior to meeting him, I just dismissed people who did courses because in my mind it was just people who never ran businesses, teaching people how to run businesses. But I spent money on his just to observe because I liked him already. Yeah. I'm like, I hope bro is legit. Yeah. And I went through it, and there were so many like legitimate tactics that you can employ to make money right now. Sure. You know what I'm saying? I even put my son on one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you want to do this. You know what I mean?
Dope.
So you have a lot of good people on your
blessed,
podcast.
brother. I
So
am blessed.
I highly advise y'all to tap in if you want to better your situation. You know, make extra money. It's not about, you don't always have to make $1 million. Maybe you want to make an extra 5,000, 10,000 a month. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
It is so doable. It is so doable.
Easy.
And you have people like David who has a wealth of information on his YouTube channel. So y'all tap in for real. And these are people who are not, there's a lot of creators out there and on YouTube that do silly, just pranks or whatever. It's all knowledge. It's all wisdom right here. So, you know, it's a lot of serious thinkers out there, people that want to better their lives. Tap in. Tap the fuck in. Or don't. It's on you.
Or don't.
It's okay. You know what I'm saying?
I
But thank you for coming on, bro.
Thanks for having me.
I really love having you. Anytime you in Cali, please come through. Next time you come, let me know in advance. Take you out to dinner. We hang out. You know what I'm saying? For real, really fellowship.
So
So
when you come to Atlanta, you know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on, same thing.
Like,
I got to
no
get you on the
doubt.
podcast.
I'm with
and
it.
yo,
I'm
I
with
was
it.
like, because yo, I am like when I do this like podcast thing and interviewing, it's not for cameras. Like I literally have so many questions.
right.
And it took me everything not to interview you today because I'm
Right,
like, yo,
right,
this is
right,
your
right.
show, bro. I'm.
It's
man,
all
listen.
good. See, my thing is not about interviews. It's about a conversation.
Yeah, for sure,
And
for
if that's
sure.
what you're feeling, you know what I'm saying, it's fine. I be on people's podcasts interviewing them sometimes. Like, I be interested, like, yo, so
Right.
tell
I
me
got
more about
mad
this.
questions to ask you, bro. That's just crazy. But
We
we will
definitely
get it.
into it for
Yeah,
sure.
my man.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Thank you for coming out. Make sure
Appreciate
y'all
you.
subscribe. We up out of here.